I think here we go.
Gorgeous. We can see it.
All
Nicely.
right.
Nicely. Nicely. All right, well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to get started here. We're happy to have Curtis here from the Certified Senior Advisors, the Society of Certified Senior Advisors. I'm a CSA. We have quite a few CSAs in our group. There's a bunch of stuff going on that Curtis is going to talk about today and give us a review of the organization and how we can connect with that. Anyway, so I'll have you, Skip, do you have anything to say?
I'll have plenty, but I can share that article first before we get started.
Okay.
In today's Wall Street Journal, there's an interesting article on AI for seniors, and if I can figure out, okay, here we go. I hope the link there will take you to it. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a pretty good article. And if you don't get it from that link, email me and I can send you the copy of the whole edition, actually, and then you can see it. But it's pretty interesting. This is a new thing that is being developed, so cutting edge stuff, and we want to keep up with that. So pay attention to that, and I'm done.
Fabulous. All righty. Well, let's get started and welcome Curtis.
All right. Well,
to our
thank you all.
group. I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Thank you all for having me today. It's always a pleasure. So yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of our brief history here at Certified Senior Advisors. I was around for some of the early days. I started here in 2006, and the credential and company was founded in 1997 here in Denver by Ed Pittock. And Ed had this understanding through his dealings with professionals in a lot of different disciplines that really people just didn't really have a broad understanding of really all the complexities and important aspects of aging. And so he set out to create a credential that would validate that and give people an education, really all the different areas of aging, providing them with really just a better ability to be a better resource, understand all the different aspects of aging, and approach it in a way that lend itself to collaborating with other professionals in other industries. So again, the mission was to really educate and credential people who were serving older adults regardless. So nothing's really changed in that mission in terms of what we do and what we're trying to do. And ultimately, what do? We try to make help older adults age more successfully. We do that through helping the professionals, through guiding them through that process, be better equipped. So the credential officially launched in '99. And then just to give you a little bit of a timeline, 2003, they developed the Code of Professional Responsibility as well as the requirements for having CE as part of holding the credential and maintaining it. Now, somewhere in 2006, I joined the organization. In 2008, we actually gained the accreditation through NCCA. That's the National Commission for Certifying Agencies. So surprisingly, we've had at least that accreditation for quite a number of years. Now, along in 2011, Professional Testing Inc. purchased SCSA from Ed because they really did like the idea. They liked the mission. They liked the professionals that were associated with this. And so they acquired us in 2011. We officially became employees of Professional Testing. In 2012, we started the process of beginning the accreditation through ANAB. And Professional Testing, if you don't know a lot about them, their business is test development and credentialing programs. And so they're really experts in doing this. And as well, they're also experts on accreditation and have strong ties with the accrediting body, ANAB, which is the ANSI National Accreditation Board. So that process began in 2012. And really ever since that time, you know, we've just had nothing but great growth. We brought back the consistent annual conference every year. We try to do that in a different city every year to attract different geographic CSAs. And again, you know, the growth in real estate, finance, healthcare, and many, many others has just continued to grow. So that's kind of a brief history. Does anybody have any questions about kind of those timelines?
Well, I don't have a question, but I do want to point out to all of us, since we're real estate agents, that the CEs required for the CSA, the Cs that you do in real estate can be applied to that. So you really don't have to take any additional CEs if you complete the real estate CEs, and that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, thanks, Skip. That's a good point. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the newly developed partnership we have with Compass Plus. And back in probably May of 2024, they approached us. And of course, one of the founding members is Ruth Refkin, who was a CSA, and she earned it, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years prior to the vision of starting Compass Plus, which is an older adults division of Compass Real Estate. Her son is actually Robert Refkin, who is the founder and CEO of Compass Real Estate. So really what we found is, you know, the intent behind having CSA was very genuine, and really we felt an alignment of values and how you approach older adults, and I was really impressed by that. And so I think that strengthened that relationship. So around that process, we went through and we looked at developing some private classes for just Compass Plus agents. Their intent was to require anybody who wanted to join the Compass Plus Older Adults Division would have to be a CSA. And they felt that this was a little bit more elevated than the SRES. Obviously, it goes into a lot more detail, more information, and would better prepare people and provide maybe a little higher level of credibility in terms of the credential. So it's a great partnership that we have through that, and with their requirement of CSA, obviously there's a ton of these people who are very interested in being part of Compass Plus, and therefore, you know, it's driving a lot of new members in the Society of Certified Senior Advisors. So, you know, it's ensuring that they have the ethics and the advocacy, as well as a very customer focused and ethical way to deal with older adults. So with all this education, this training is going to promote that ethical, holistic approach through the transactions that they're dealing with their clients. So that's kind of really how it all happened. And I think going forward, there's just a huge push. A lot of you may know that in June, they held their national retreat here in Denver. So we had a chance to go over and talk to a group that was invited just to talk about and learn more about Compass Plus. So it was a great warm reception and just had a huge turnout and a lot of interest. So now, we're just looking to have a bunch of growth for them on their end and try and get all their folks through certification and onto full membership in Compass Plus. And so and I didn't go into a lot of what their goals were. And I think what's important, if you are interested in Compass Plus, if you're part of Compass and are looking to join that division to really, and I've got a slide at the very end here that talks about how you can contact them through their website, but they really would like to, present their side of really what's going on with Compass Plus and why they have this requirement. So I'll have that information at the end of my slide. Now I've kind of just set up just some of my kind of introduction to CSA. Obviously, the CSA certifications, unlike other programs, because of the breadth of the scope of the curriculum, as well as the testing. And again, the fact that we have accreditation through 2 national accrediting bodies. A lot of you may have heard this, but again, this is so important because that third party oversight and verification is what guarantees certain standards in a program and the rigor in the program as well. So again, to become certified, you have to pass our exam with a 70% or better. And then you also have a criminal background check. So that's part of our vetting process. And we feel that's very important. And then lastly, you have to go through and complete an ethics module that's based on the CSA Code of Professional Responsibility. And really, this is agreeing to abide by guidelines and how you approach business. It talks about use of logos and marks, but it's really, you're upholding the CSA Code of Responsibility when you go through, do the application and embark upon this journey. So we have 3 basic education options. We have an online self-paced course, which is by far the most flexible and most popular option. We have a virtual live class that is actually done on Zoom, much like this is. So it's a real-time education with instructors and other students on the scheduled calls. So it has that structure. And then we, of course, have some in-person classes in some various locations.
When's the next one?
Yeah, that's going to be in Baltimore during our conference. So
Okay.
we do like to try and hold a live in-person class while we have another city where we're in, where we might attract some other people from different areas. And we've got the location. So that'll be the next one. It's happening at the same time as our conference. It's not the kind of thing where you can go to the class and go to the conference. It's really 2 separate events. So that's kind of an important distinction. So online self-paced, like I said, real quick, it's the most flexible option. Includes all the textbooks, 6 months access to recorded presentations, and then also the CSA exam is included in that bundle. You can start when you choose. You can work on it when and where you want to, as long as you have internet. And then when you are ready, you actually schedule and take your test at a Pearson computer-based testing center locally. Now I've listed our bundle price up here. And as many of you know, we have a discount for SRES folks that I'll supply towards the end here. But that's our published rate for the bundle, the education $795, the exam $395. And then the virtual class, we have actually 2 different formats, but again, it's got that structure of a live class, but you don't have to worry about travel and lodging. And you get that real-time engagement with other students actually on the call. So again, it includes the textbooks. It also includes a PowerPoint booklet for making notes, and it does include the exam as well. So we have 2 formats. Sessions are twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we have a daytime format that's 3 weeks long. So there's a total of 6 sessions, and those take place during the day, and they're about 5.5 hours long. Now, we also developed an evening format that takes place, in the late afternoon or evening, and that runs for 5.5 weeks, but the sessions are only 2.5 hours long. So again, you're meeting on twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening for less time each session, but it's running for 5.5 weeks. And then again, with this option, you schedule your exam and take it at a computer-based testing center locally. Now, the virtual live class is $100 more. And again, this is a bundle, so it includes the exam. So that's our published rate. And then our live in-person class, and obviously this is the most engaging option because you're in a room with other professionals, with the instructors. So it's a maximum amount, I think, of stimulation in terms of being in a classroom. It includes a textbook, study guide, PowerPoint booklet, and it does include the exam. We do have a limited number of locations. We'll be back here in Denver in December, incidentally, and then Orlando we usually do in February, March, somewhere in that area. So it includes the option, unlike other options, to actually sit for the test on site at the conclusion of class. So there's 3 full days in class, 8 to 5, and then on 4th day you do have the option of sitting for the exam. We do highly recommend, however, that you enroll and really have some time to do some pre-study, read the chapters, do the review exercises, and that gives you a really good chance of being well prepared if you're going to take the exam at the conclusion. Now, if you don't take the exam after class, which you don't have to, then we just authorize you to test again at a Pearson testing center locally. So once you're certified, after your first year, you have a $180 renewal fee. And then every 3 years, as we're talking CE, you must have completed 30 hours. As Skip mentioned, you can be doing CE for other programs. That's going to count towards our multidisciplinary guidelines in terms of CE. And then you start getting access to other really great resources. We do a lot of engaging with subject matter experts in a variety of areas to try to keep our members abreast of changes and trends and different areas of aging that may be of interest to really anybody. So we do that through our quarterly journal, which we're very proud of. It's a peer-reviewed journal. It's won the Mature Media Award and just has a ton of really, really good articles in it. We, again, have our monthly webinar series. If you haven't attended those, you should definitely look at the schedule online and just look at some of those topics that are coming up because those are fantastic. And they're also a way you can earn CE. We have our newsletter as well. We have networking groups. And then one of the great things is being able to attend the CSA annual conference. As a CSA, you get a discounted price. And that's really going to provide really a lot of great ongoing education, different tracks along different areas of aging. So a great way to enjoy some camaraderie, socialize, make some connections, strengthen those connections, and just have good education opportunities. And then, of course, we do have some really good guides for marketing, informational booklets that you can get at the CSA store that really provide some useful information for folks that you're working with. And then, of course, you can use the CSA logos and marks, utilizing those on your social media, your online presence. We issue what's called a digital badge. I like to put mine in my signature line, and it's a verification tool. So if you're a CSA, somebody clicks on your digital badge, it gives you basically information about when you were certified. It talks about the different areas of competency that you're tested on. It talks about the standards established by the accreditations, and just gives a nice picture of why this is an important certification. and information about you as a professional holding it. Now, in addition to that, every CSA is listed on the CSA website. And so if somebody's looking for some sort of services, assistance in their area, they can go to the CSA locator and they can do searches geographically. They can do it by profession or industry, and other ways. So it's a great way for not only older adults and perhaps their families to reach out and find you, but as well other professionals who may be looking for some help in other areas. And that's a great verification tool as well.
Can I put a little plug in for the journal?
You bet you can.
Well, I became a CSA in 2012, and the following year, I joined the editorial board for the journal. And there's about, I don't know, a dozen of us, I guess, from all over the country with different backgrounds that are part of the board, and it's our responsibility to go out and find topics and authors to put in the journal. And this is one of the best kept secrets of CSA. This is a gold mine. I don't know how many times I've met even non-CSAs that had exposure to the journal, and they go, "Oh, this is great! It's fantastic! I love it!" and etc. Um, so, be aware that this is a perk that's really, really valuable. And coincidentally, coming up, and can't remember which month it's going to be, but we have our 100th edition of the journal. Now, I haven't been around that long, but the idea is they're actually going to go back and do some of the earlier stuff. They're going to have an interview with Ed and lots of other things they're going to be really kind of interesting. So keep in mind that the journal is probably one of the biggest and the best perks of CSA, and you all get it included in with your membership.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Thank you, Skip. And incidentally, another really great perk of being a CSA is you actually have access to all the archive journals. So you can go back behind the member portal. And as well, you can also access archives of the monthly webinar series, which is a huge benefit. And so thanks for sharing that, Skip. So I mentioned the CSA Leaders Networks, and really this is a program that we've been engaged with for quite some time. We have resources assigned to help develop and support this effort. And basically it's trying to create networking groups around the country, kind of similar to what you all are doing here, but they're very much multidisciplinary networks. And again, you go back to the idea that you as a professional need other vetted people that you can rely on in other areas. That's kind of the foundation of what Compass said. We want to be able to refer people to the right professions. And so these leaders networks, they come together to strengthen their connections, and really come on, not only that, but to provide information, share, they have guest speakers, share information, promote their services locally. And hopefully this provides some good referral sources also. And then a lot of times there's CE that is attached to that, whereby you can earn CSA CE. So you can access the map of emerging and existing groups on the CSA website. And it's interesting, there's really a lot of groups, and I think there's opportunities for people interested in other areas where we don't have them. So it's a good thing to get involved with. I included this little pie chart because it's kind of a breakdown of our membership, and you can see there's some pretty big pieces of that pie. You see real estate services actually kind of a small piece at that point, but there's also a lot of those folks are included in senior housing and placement. Now, this was also created prior to the formation of Compass Plus and their national launch, which they've got hundreds of people who are in the process of becoming CSAs. So that's really growing. Over the years, I would say the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen a huge surge in real estate professionals seeking out and earning the CSA certification, seeing the value in that. All right, so as promised, here is the SRES coupon code that can be used at when you're checking out after enrolling in one of the education options, and that adjusts down a $200 discount on any of those options. And then I kind of just included the Compass Plus website information here. That's a great place to learn more about that, and I would encourage you to. I don't know if we have anybody from Compass actually on this call, but
At least 3 of them, yeah.
okay, yeah, and I think the key is to reach out to Compass Plus if you haven't done so already, so they can give you a little more information. And basically, I help those folks get started in that journey. So happy to talk with anybody about any questions or options about that. So that's really all I've got. I do have just my contact information on the next slide. And if anybody's interested in talking one-on-one, I'm happy to do that. You can also use I have a Calendly link that fills up my calendar quite nicely, and you can look at what my availability is. I don't have that in this slide, but if you email me, I can shoot that over to you as well. So at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
And actually, I'd like to, if Seb wouldn't mind me putting him on the spot, he's just finishing up the course, and he's scheduled to take the exam tomorrow. Good luck, Seb. But maybe you want to make a few comments about your experience with going through the course.
Well, yeah, thanks, Skip. My experience going through the course is that it is challenging, like a lot of people have said it was, and I didn't really expect it to be as challenging as it is. And we'll see how I do on the test tomorrow, but I certainly have been learning a lot, and I really appreciate all the thought and care that's gone into providing the CSA, the study materials and the online classes. It's all really extensive, and you can really see that people put a lot of care and thought into it. So I'm really appreciative of everything that's been done, and look forward to my test tomorrow and see how that goes.
All right.
Great. And also,
Wishing
we
you
got
the best.
Thanks,
we
I
got
need it.
another Compass guy on. Matt, I think this is your first time, and maybe you can unmute and talk to us a little about what you're doing with CSA, trying to get your leadership group and how it's relating to Compass Plus. Are you there, Matt? I guess he fell off. All
I
right.
think he dropped. Yeah, I don't see him on the list here.
All right. I guess we bored him. Yeah.
Liliana, you're at Compass
Yeah.
now. And
Yeah.
you're an OG CSA in our market here. Liliana.
Are there any other
Probably went to the refrigerator,
are
so.
there any other Compass
I
Plus
am
people on the
here.
call?
There she is.
I am
OG
here. Hello,
CSA, go ahead,
everyone.
yeah. So, we're
Yes,
just finding
Julie,
out of everybody's experience, and then you recently went to Compass, just earlier this year, so.
I recently joined Compass, but I am I've been part of the Certified Senior Advisors member since 2012. So it's been a while, and my background is not only in real estate, but I will say that many years being in the senior care industry for 21 years. So I recently joined Compass, so it was a smooth transition for me. And also learning that there is a partnership with Compass that was, something, that I am so glad that this happened, because definitely, in order to work with seniors, there is more education that needed to be in place, as all of us know. So we can be able to guide them through this difficult transition in their lives. So I'm glad that, there is more education that everybody can benefit from. And I am happy that I just joined Compass Plus as well. So there is a lot of excitement within Compass. I am based in the Menlo Park office. So a lot of the realtors, a lot of the agents now are very curious about what is CSA? How do I become part of CSA? So it has been very exciting.
You might mention also that you as recruiting people are eligible for a $200 credit for every CSA that enrolls and becomes a CSA member. So this is a good way to, pay for some of the courses, your annual renewal fees, anything you like. But it's a great perk, and certainly it helps bring in a lot of the people. So
Oh, good to know, Skip. I didn't know about that referral fee. Good to
yeah,
know.
so
Yeah.
you
I
owe
will
me 200
definitely
bucks.
share that.
So you owe me $200 now then. So do
With
we have any
every
other
agent
Compass
from
Plus?
Compass.
Do we have any other Compass Plus people? You gonna pipe up? No. Okay. Maggie has her hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you for sharing everything you shared. I took that course years ago. I'm a reverse mortgage professional, have been in the industry for 32 years, and I just have to say it was hard. It was really hard. I did not pass, but I'm really tempted to go back and do it again and just get that designation. But I was wondering if
We
your
lost you,
discount, since I'm not a
Maggie.
realtor, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was curious. I'm not a realtor, but does that discount apply to a reverse mortgage professional?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and let you use the SRES coupon code. Absolutely, no problem.
Since you're part of our group with the membership and the secret handshake and all that, then we'll let you do the $200 discount. So
Yeah. No, and I'd be happy to
Thank
talk a
you.
little
Thank
bit more
you.
about, perhaps some of there's been
Older
some
adults and their
changes.
families are
No, I'm sorry.
go ahead. You were on.
Yeah, I just was going to say, we've actually revised our exam since that time, and we've updated the curriculum. So there's been a lot of different things I think that hopefully will help in kind of getting you re-engaged in that process. So I'm happy to talk to you more about that.
That would be great. And I'm just curious, do you have anything? I'm in the East Bay area. Do you have anything in person in my area?
We do not. That's
You do not. Okay.
yeah. I mean, the closest thing we would have would be the live virtual, and those are extremely popular classes because they give you that person-to-person engagement and real-time presentation without having to worry about going somewhere. Those classes have consistently sold out for the last 3 classes we've had. We try to keep the number ratio of instructor to students at a certain level. So those are selling out quickly. So obviously a real popular way to do it, where you do have that structure, and the necessity to be there.
Just a little story that
Okay, perfect. Well,
when I
thank
got
you.
mine in 2012, I'd heard of CSA and had some curiosity, and I was lucky enough to have Jim McCabe, who was actually one of the CSA instructors that I've known through Financial Planning Association, Senior Roundtable, and some other things. And we got together and talking, and told me about the benefits and said, well, yeah, why don't we do it? And I said, well, okay, fine. And then we got the idea of maybe opening this up to other people, for the Financial Planning Association, Senior Roundtable, SRES, etc. So we put the class together here in San Jose, and it was one of the biggest classes they ever had. And but don't forget, this was 2012. So we had the in-person 3-day course with the half-day exam at the end of it, and we had one textbook. It was harder than nails, and it was, a very great experience. So I'm wondering, we haven't had, I think we had maybe one or two more classes here in San Jose, and then it kind of dried up. Would it be possible that maybe if we get another group that'd be worth having the class in our area, that we could do it here sometime in the future?
Well, it's certainly something we can talk about for sure. It's always helpful if you have a organization or a place
Yeah.
where we can, actually hold the class itself. That's a huge help in keeping the cost down, and then also with the recruitment of individuals. We can put together a class with a reasonable number of people. Then it's very worth doing. The live classes, we've had a pretty good drop in the interest in doing live classes. We had one here in Denver the week of the journal retreat, and we had 15 people. That was a kind of a low number from what we normally have, and a lot of people like to come to Denver. So, that's kind of one of the reasons we backed off a little bit on that, and actually because of COVID is why we developed the virtual classes. But yeah, it's something we can talk about for sure. And if you want to offline talk a little bit more about that, and some recruitment strategies, and perhaps potentially somebody that may have a good training room or location where we could do it.
And also, you might want to mention about the Best Buy certification program too, which is really kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and Best Buy, a division of Best Buy Health, which essentially they're phone workers who engage with older adults for a number of reasons, to provide um, anything from companionship to advice on something they need to do. It might be dispatching somebody to help them. But this division approached us about getting their people certified, and we did about 10 or 11 private classes in person just for Best Buy. And of course, they had guaranteed numbers, so it was a kind of a no-brainer. But it was a lot of work to put all that together. But we've got a bunch of Best Buy employees that are now certified senior advisors, many more that are still working on that. And we're getting ready to have talks about setting up classes for their next onboarding session. So we're really happy to be working with them. They've been a great group as well.
Yeah. Lynn has a question.
Yes. Hi, Curtis. I'm Lynn,
Hi.
and nice to meet you. And
As
so,
well.
I have a very basic question. So 95% of my transactions, I'm a real estate agent, a senior listing specialist, are working with homeowners in transitioning them to the next part of their lives. And I would say probably about, 15 to 20%, maybe 20% of my clients are, retiring out of state, moving closer to children, or even looking at communities. So maybe falling in the senior range. At what point would you say for real estate agent because I do work with many other types of homeowners, would you say, okay, let's invest the time and be a certified senior advisor? Because I would imagine having to, we only have limited hours in a day, right? And to be able to go through down this path. Sorry, I was just hearing from, was it Seb? So, that he just went through this course, and it's very, very hard. And I'm imagining it takes, a chunk of time out. What point in our business are like, okay, maybe we should go ahead and go for this?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. You consider maybe older adults being 55 and up, but I think where you enjoy and get the most, I guess, fulfillment out of helping people is really where you need to lead lead with, basically. And I think, if you want to, you don't want to forego business that's not necessarily working with older adults, but they're a very specialized market. And they take a lot of different care and a lot of different approach in terms of how you go about helping them. And so it's not easy demographic to work with in a lot of different ways. There are a lot of family dynamics and a lot of other things that come into it, which is part of what we try to provide, through our training, is that understanding. So I guess individually, you have to just ask yourself, is it worthwhile? Personally, I think that the content of this course is good for anybody. We're all getting older. We have family members, we have friends. I did it back in 2006, so quite some time ago, but it sure opened my eyes to a lot of different things. It's probably a really powerful education for anybody. It's even more powerful when you're looking at trying to help a population that has more challenges to overcome in terms of helping them and being consistent, ethical, and considering all their different complexities that they face. So that's not a very great answer, very, very pinpointed, but I think individually you just have to decide, where does your heart take you in terms of who you're focusing on helping.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate it. And just really quick, the reason why I asked that question is because majority of the business that I get that are seniors, they come organically. And the reason why I became series certified is because my own parents, as you said, we're all gonna be there one day, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, kind of dealing with them like, hey, parents, you guys came to this country, you worked hard all your lives, you deserve a great quality of life. And I, as your oldest daughter, want to give that to you, and so let's look at all these senior communities you can go to. Kind of started with that. And I actually met another CSA, which I thought was great because he actually specializes and he knows all of the senior communities. He's very well connected, and ended up having him help my family do these tours. And then he also came with me on another appointment with the next door neighbor of somebody I was referred to, and I sold their house, and they said, can you come over and talk to us? Went there and talked with them. And I do love working with seniors because I feel like they are so wise and there's so much to learn from them, and they're very sweet. And she had this little box and she was so excited to share with me that because she's in a wheelchair now, she's not super mobile, and she opened the box and it had little sand and little beach stuff because her friend knew she loved the beach and brought a piece of the beach to her. And then she was excited to share this with me. And, walking through their home is like walking through, a history book. And they were like, oh, well, we got this when we were traveling here. And I mean, it's just it's fun, it doesn't feel like work. And, but to have this specialized CSA person come, kind of see how he did the process, with giving them all of these, asking them about their life and type of assistance they needed. And maybe some places he had a full spreadsheet. I'm like, I couldn't do all that. I would rather get someone who was, so I don't know, that was just me, but yeah.
Well, yeah. And again, it's having a network of other people in other areas that can help with areas that you can't handle. And it's really, having some sort of vetting process in those folks that you can trust and rely on to help in other areas.
Well, thank you.
That's kind of what I found when I took the course, is that it covers so much material. We all kind of go into the CSA with a particular field that, is our strength. And, it could be real estate for us, it could be long-term care insurance, it could be health things. Everything is included in the course. So you're going to have something in there that you're going to be really strong with. But then you've got all the rest of it that you don't have a clue about. And that's what the course is for, is to teach you the other areas and to give you all the information and resources that you need in order to work with the seniors and the families.
Mhm. Thank you. And then just one last question about this Compass.
Plus,
Yeah, the Compass Plus and Society of Certified Senior Advisors. I'm assuming you have to be a Compass agent in order to join this, right?
Well, I would assume that that's true, because, you know, you're joining a division of Compass that is called Compass Plus, which is their older adults division. And in order to do so, they've mandated that you have the CSA certification. So, yeah.
But I mean, like you have to be like a Compass real estate agent.
Yes,
can't-
you do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You have
okay,
to work, you have to hang your license in Compass to become a Compass Plus agent.
okay, got it. Okay, thank you. And is that Compass nationwide or is it just specific?
Compass is national.
Nationwide,
It's a,
yeah.
yeah, it's,
But this
yeah.
program is nationwide. And
The Compass Plus is nationwide, yes.
you don't have to belong to any particular office. You can. Okay. So I guess if I'm thinking about a change, I might think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We're just, I think Seb, you're gonna be our Compass liaison for
the
our local
ambassador,
area.
Sounds good to me.
our ambassador.
Our ambassador, that's right. Our SRES Compass Plus liaison ambassador extraordinaire.
Happy to serve. Happy to serve.
Well, when we get Matt back on here, he's going to be doing the same. Since he's not here, I'll just tell you, he found me on LinkedIn. It's only been like a few weeks ago, and we did a few phone calls back and forth and joined together in LinkedIn and so forth. But he is real gung ho CSA to try to set up local networking, like leadership groups that the CSAs can use for resources. Now, we actually tried to do that after I did my initial certification, and it just fell apart. We didn't have enough interest because a lot of people, it was all over the Bay Area, and it was just too difficult for a lot of people to travel. But even still, now that we have Zoom, that we might be able to pull it off. So when we get Matt back on here, maybe we can uh, query him as to what he has in mind for doing this. But he is a huge CSA fan. He's Compass Plus, so he's also SRES, and he'll be good to have with our group.
I just wanted to revisit one of your slides, Curtis, the pie chart, and I wanted to highlight that the Society of Certified Senior Advisors is a leading certification organization association that's in the senior care, senior living, and senior care industry. It's just this year and starting, last year with this collaboration with Compass, is that the bringing together of that industry, that association level of that industry, the senior care, living and care industry, to our industry, the real estate industry. They're two behemoth industries creating a collaboration to serve senior homeowners and the families of senior homeowners. This is huge and long in the making. One of the things, of course, is that the reason why it's a good thing for us as seniors real estate specialists and realtors, all cap letters, okay, realtors, to be a CSA is that when we go out into the marketplace and we're working with, in our capacity as seniors real estate specialists, we're working with senior living communities, senior care providers, all of those industry professionals. When we present ourselves as a SRES and CSA and have that conversation with these industry people, it's a completely different conversation than what they know and what their perspective they used to have of us as realtors. It's elevated and highly respected. So am I on the right track here, Curtis?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go through this process and this learning without elevating yourself. And you know, you're better in certain ways. Obviously, you know your business, but you really have a lot more insight and understanding. So I think the fact that you can engage with other professionals and talk about your credentials, not only your services, but what credentials you have, that does elevate you. And CSA is certainly comes with that credibility and the fact that we have accreditation, the rigor in the program. It's all very positive in
Yes.
terms of relationships with other professionals.
And I might also point out that a lot of the speakers that we've been having on our Tuesday meetup group have been from CSA, or they've been contributing authors to our journal and so forth. So it's a great way to have resources in areas other than what you specialize in.
Well, you guys may have noticed that, you know, our subject matter that we like to have here in this particular group is more CSA than it is realtor, because we have so many resources for realtor stuff. Plenty. Now, we would like to bring Skip and I these types of this part of the our skill set to the group, so that when we do go out and do business and we're out in the industry of the senior living and senior care industry, we're much more effective and much better than the average realtor, right? So that just makes us unique. There's plenty of real estate stuff. We like, I want to keep it, well, we'd like to keep it, and Skip does a really good job on keeping it about senior, and it's not even, you know, there's different age demographics for seniors. 55 to 65 is one set of things. 65 to 75 is another set of things. And all of those different sets affect their real estate asset. And that's what we're there for, is to help preserve, protect, and leverage the family's real estate asset. Does anybody have any questions, comments, observations?
I do have a, thank you, Julie. I do have a question for everyone here. And that is, what percentage of the business that you do as a real estate agent are with seniors?
Mine's 100%.
100% for me.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I don't do real estate, but if I did, it would be 100%.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Julie is 100%.
But you know what, Lynn, you know what comes out of the 100% of working with senior homeowners and the families of senior homeowners? Multi-generational families.
Mm-hmm.
So we will endeavor to serve every level of that family.
Mm-hmm.
But the senior homeowner and the families of the adult children are our first, that's our 100% of our business. Everything else is connected to that.
Okay,
And,
so you're going deep. You're
yeah.
going deep in the family relationships.
So here's another thing too, like you're working with first-time buyers, they're in their 30s, they're building their families. Sometimes I'll tell them, I'm like, okay, you have parents? And they're like, oh yeah, we have parents. Oh, yeah. All right, let's talk about that.
Well, it's
Then-
like I like to explain in the SRES course, you know, there is no formal education in any of the real estate classes except the SRES course on how to work with seniors. None, zero. And ironically, the SRES class, even though it's a real estate class, has nothing to do with real estate. It's all about the senior market. So I like to explain to people that if you get your SRES, it's kind of like getting your master's in all things senior. But if you get the CSA, that's your PhD. That's much deeper, much broader, more gooder. So you certainly want to do that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I think out of any other group of clients I have, I do enjoy working with seniors the most for the reasons I stated. So yeah, maybe but just right now, it's just I have so much different people coming to me, but maybe I could shift my focus a little bit more like usually. I never even thought of asking that. Do you have parents? I mean, and some of them maybe live out of state as well.
Yeah. Well, that's another opportunity, especially for us, connecting with
Mm-hmm.
SRES all across the country, which this group is connected with all the groups all across the country. And so when we do have relocation opportunities, which is part of our industry, we have vetted and reliable referral sources to be able to give to families that are looking. Like recently I just was a family has parents in Florida that they need to get out of Florida and up to Georgia. And so one of the groups I'm in, we were all brainstorming on contacts, vetted contacts that they could connect with to help them get the whole project done, getting the parents out of Florida and into Georgia. So that's part of what we do as well.
Do you have a list of a network of people we can refer to that are series certified across the nation?
Well,
It's in the website.
Oh,
yeah,
It's similar to SRES where if you want to find somebody, you put in the zip code or city, or if you know the agent
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they can search for it.
that's the first, yeah, right on our SRES portal. Everybody's there.
No, this is the CSA.
Oh, and the
portal.
CSA, yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
a CSA locator, yeah. And
yeah,
if you go to our homepage, the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says find a certified senior advisor. So
Yeah.
that's the quickest way to do
yeah.
that. I'm coming up on another meeting and I apologize.
No,
But
this is great.
it's been my pleasure. And again, everybody is welcome to reach out to me anytime, and happy to help with any questions you might have and provide encouragement or whatever. So
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
being here.
Curtis. We appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Curtis.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward
you,
to, I'm gonna
Curtis.
probably see you in Baltimore.
All right, sounds great. Looking forward to it. All right, you all enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty.
And another note here that Julie put in the bulletin, which I think is pretty important. There's going to be a 2-hour PBS presentation on caregiving starting next week, and here you see it in the chat box. But the trailer looks pretty good, and I think it'd be useful both for you and your clients, in fact. So keep in mind that caregiving is one of the biggest parts of working with seniors, and the one of the most difficult and challenging parts too. And you'll get to see about it next week. Anybody else have anything?
Liliana, you want to talk about we did the SourceWise Healthy Aging Fair on Saturday?
It was a great opportunity for Julie and I to be there representing SRES and Certified Senior Advisors, because we had additional information that, you know, as real estate professionals, we are equipped to work with seniors as well. So when we had these, you know, attendees coming to our table, they were not only talking about real estate. But I don't know, Julie, about you, but people then they were coming to my table, they were asking questions about how do you help a senior during this transition? Because it's just not a transaction, right? It's their situation becomes more complex. So it was very interesting, all the conversations that I had with people. And this senior fair was from 9 to 12, well attended, well organized. And, you know, I was happy to see Julie there.
Did
That was fun.
did you represent Compass or Compass Plus?
Compass with the
Okay.
division of Compass Plus.
All right.
And since I just joined Compass Plus a week ago, so all that information was new to me as well. So I'm still in the process of, you know, navigating throughout the Compass Plus program. So
By the way, the website just came live about, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I
yes,
think it's relatively new, and Curtis had that on his contact slide, but I guess you could probably Google it and find Compass Plus, or, you know, contact one of the Compass members here to get it. But um, yeah, they're off and running, and it's still pretty much of a secret, but I think they're just starting to open up and get the word out.
yeah, I think it's not a secret necessarily, Skip, but because everything is so new, you know, and it's nationwide.
Mhm.
We are still not agents that we just joined that division. We're still navigating to learn more information and how to navigate the website, how we can have a locator for those agents that are part of Compass Plus already based on locations, based on a state. So I'm still working on that. It's not finalized. We're still getting our assets. And when I say our assets are, you know, logos and, you know, things that agents that are part of Compass Plus will get eventually to help promote our senior real estate division.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I'm real excited about it and look forward to see what's coming up next. And I'm hoping this might be inspiration for other real estate groups to be doing a similar type thing, whether it's Keller Williams or Coldwell or whoever it might be, that they might do something similar, and having a unit that specializes in working with seniors, because you know that's the market right now. That's where all the action is taking place, and everybody you meet is in the senior market, whether they're seniors or they're going to be seniors or they're caregivers for seniors. So it
Right.
reaches everybody.
Right. Last week we had our first Compass Plus roundtable. And so where we learn exactly, you know, how this is being launched and then what are the benefits to become a CSA in order to be part of Compass Plus division. So it's very interesting because some of our agents, they do have experience working with seniors. Some of them, they might have master's degrees in gerontologists, but it doesn't matter. Every single agent who wants to be part of this division needs to take as a requirement the CSA certification, the test, go through, you know, the class, course online, and then ultimately take the test.
So do you have anything to add?
I just want to say thank you, Julie and Skip, for putting this together. This is such a tremendous group, and I've been sharing it with everyone I come in contact with at Compass, you know, who are asking, hey, like, what else can we do to like get more involved in this space? And I said, well, Julie's call is amazing. So I want to thank you so much for putting this together. I've learned so much, and I'm very appreciative.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Well, thank you, Julie.
All
All
right,
right.
everybody. Great
Right.
meeting. Everybody have a great week. If if you guys think of anything, shoot me a text if you want to. Anything we can do here on the meeting, anything I can put in the bulletin, just shoot me a text.
I will
Same
And
with me,
yeah.
but don't text me. I don't do text. I'm a
Don't text
dinosaur.
Skip, no.
Email, but I'm open for suggestions for topics, criticism that you might have, anything you guys have ideas that can help with this group. We want to get the word out and have it start growing. We're old enough now where we need to get more than 20 calls per session, and I'm hoping that we can expand it, just because of the nature of what we're doing. So spread the word.
Might add that I'm doing my class back to school for seniors and their adult children on the 28th. So I'm posting it on my constant contact, and I'm doing it with another set of people. And I was going to send it, of course, to Mastermind, and I'll send it out next week. The folks that I'm dealing with are seniors, but they prefer aging in place. Until they get to that point, they need to go to a retirement community or skilled nursing or a place like that. And two of my speakers, one is Elva Wormley, who's her organization is one of the largest providers of reverse mortgages, and then Rebecca Mueller, who's been here before.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yes, and she's going to be doing the other part. And we've gotten together already to show some of her units and how to finance them through a reverse mortgage, equity line, hybrid second, or whatever. But basically, concentrating on the reverse mortgage. And the interest rates may not be that great, but we've been talking about how the income could offset the cost. So we've already had one meeting, just the three of us, and then we're going to have another one. And then the deal is on a Saturday, 10 to 12.
Send me your flyer on that.
I surely will.
Yeah, that would be great. And I'll put it in
next
the
week's
bulletin.
speaker is Dave Butler with jumbo reverse mortgages, I believe
Yeah,
Yes.
jumbo seconds.
Yeah, and she's going to be talking about those too.
Nice.
At any time you guys have an event coming up like this or whatever, shoot Julie an email and a flyer or whatever so that we can publicize it on our weekly bulletin, because that reaches a lot more people than they're just on the call. So
Yeah.
make sure that you have her make it available to the group by putting it in the bulletin.
Okay, shameless share. Saturday, I'm doing a panel discussion at the American GI Forum, local American GI Forum right here in San Jose. And I'm going to be doing a talk about aging in place and aging in the right place. And I was invited by one of my realtor colleagues. And so I'm so excited because I'm kind of a VA specialist, and VA, that's like a whole nother level. Seniors and VA, that's a whole ball of wax by itself. But we're gonna start to combine those. Anyway, so this is one of the things that I'm gonna be doing is I'm already involved with the Veterans Administration and locally anyway. But this is American GI Forum, which I haven't met this office yet. This is going to be so much fun because this is a whole new group of veterans that I don't even know yet, and they're right here in my backyard. So I'm familiar with Legion Halls. Everybody's got American Legion Halls in their neighborhoods, right? So they're a really good resource of people to talk to. Anyway, so
and we do have a talk on VA benefits on August the 12th. So
yep.
that'll be upcoming as well.
Where is yours, Julie?
So it's their I think it's their semi-annual meeting, right? It's like a whole day event. I'm coming in the middle of it to do a section of their agenda.
Where is it?
It's in San Jose on Quimby Road by Eastridge, that American GI Forum office.
Address?
I don't know.
How are people going to find it?
It's on Quimby Road across the street from Eastridge.
That's a big area too.
I know. Well, like I said, really, it's in my backyard. So, and when Hyro was telling me about it and asking me to come and help and speak, and I was like, I didn't even know we had an organization office over there by Eastridge. So American GI Forum.
Oh, I think I know where it is.
Yeah,
It's
right?
on Quimby. It's on Quimby Road.
Yeah, Quimby.
Is
Close
that,
to
it looks like
Capitol.
a house?
Yeah. Thank
It's a
you,
house looking-
Lynn. All right, everybody.
It's a house deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they,
Yes.
yeah,
I've
it's a
seen it.
huge, yeah, huge organization. I'll report on it. Timely. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye. See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye, Roni.
Thank you, Julie.
Thanks for being here.
You're
See you
welcome.
guys.